Welcome to Black Spring with Autumn on your Friday. It's the Friday Buzz, and I am back again for one last dig, and let's see what comes up. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Black Spring with Autumn, and I'm back once again. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And for those of you that joined me on the Black Spring Mobile earlier, I really appreciate that so much. So, yes, we are back, and I am circling back. I want to expand a little bit more on the points that I was highlighting from Shaquille O'Neal's position, as well as I'm kind of doing a little bit of a comparison between him and Charles Barkley. Not so much a comparison, but just maybe even the parallels that I think that we might be looking at. A profile that, something that I think might be shaping up to show their values or express their values, maybe even more than they thought in these times. But I'm also curious as to what you think about how long it'll be before they send the keepers and the henchmen out for them. So thank you so much for tuning into the Friday Buzz. I will be right back after I give thanks to our loyal patrons, subscribers, and of course, the viewers like yourself. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we have one more. This show is brought to you in part by our sponsors. Whether you're interested in health, culture, politics, scripture, automobiles, or music, please check out Derek C. Williams, Killer Whale Channels, The Definition of Anarchy, Marcy T., Joseph Francis Burton, Paralysis by Analysis, Chrysler Imperial H, Little Miss Goth, AZ Infidel, Cold War Jesus, Anthony Scioli, and Let the Truth Be Told. We'll be right back right after this. All right, thank you so much for tuning in on the Friday Buzz. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. So we'll go ahead and get started. So there's one particular, I thought maybe we start this out a little bit lighthearted, but we'll kind of pivot back and forth between two athletes. I guess they're both in more of a retirement stage, and just we're profiling a little bit here on Black Spring today. So thank you so much for tuning in, and for those of you that may be considering coming in for the stream, thank you so much. So let's go ahead and start with, I think we'll start with Charles Barkley. Now, earlier I mentioned to you, I wanted you, if you haven't seen this video, I think Charles Barkley came up with his own version of a criminal parody when it came to the Jussie Smollett case and the alleged attack in Chicago. So if you haven't seen that, you're going to see it today. So I thank you so much for tuning in. And then we'll get over to Shaquille's stance on the mandates. So we will go there. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this segment. I really appreciate it. Hope you guys are doing well out there. It is Friday. You have made it to Friday. If you didn't know it, then you might know it by the indication of the title in this stream, or you might already know it because people at your office, they pretty much stopped working at 12 o'clock today, or they just didn't start at all. Lunch was pretty much the only thing that got done today. So we'll see what happens. So let's go with Sir Charles Barkley on his parody. I'm calling this his parody on a criminal. So I'm going to blow this up for you. For the lack of a better word, the algorithms, please don't go crazy. Don't go crazy over my term here. So I'm going to enlarge the screen for you. And so let's get started, shall we?
I was going to go with Houston as Ernie goes over there. I was going to talk about Ernie. What's the most ridiculous one over there that's still living?
Okay, so they're considering this a roast, but they're giving you the context of players, teams, and competitiveness. But, you know, here, I'll stop talking.
That what you would say has no chance of happening.
Two black guys beating a black guy up.
And having a black guy.
Sorry, speak it out loud.
That's not on here, man. The Clippers will not make the playoffs. And
what kind of hats they had on, Chuck?
Magas hat.
all right, I think that's probably it.
Okay.
The Lakers will not make the playoffs. The Kings will is the latest edition. Go ahead, Kenny. I can't
Chuck,
believe you, Chuck.
You pay him with cash?
Chuckster.
You pay him with
Chuckster.
cash or you write him a check, Chuck? Never break. Hey, listen, America.
Chuckster. How?
America. Let me just tell you something.
What's that?
Do not commit crimes with checks. Come on, man. You cannot. If you're going to break the law, do not write a check.
Because you're writing a check that what? Behind cash.
Yo, man, you cannot cash up. Hey, get cash, man. I never used the ATM. Now I heard you can only get $200 out of it. 500. Stop, literally.
You're
going to make a lot of stuff to the ATM. But you said, Chuck, America, do not write checks when you commit illegal activity.
I cannot believe that we touched them all right there. Circle the bag.
Hey, he just said
touch every pillow.
He just said the Lakers would make the playoffs. Jesse said that.
America, hey, Jack, don't commit crime with Jesse. Jesse, you wasted all that damn time and money. You know what you should have did?
What's that?
Just went out in Liam Neeson's neighborhood. You could have solved all your damn problems. Charles, you got.
It was a lead of 13 for the Rock.
Okay, so thank you so much. Oh gosh. Okay, so I really appreciate you guys so much for humoring me on that. So that was what I considered kind of an athlete's take on criminals, even if it's in the name of woke justice. So I thought that was pretty good. Now that was actually coming from, as you can see, of course they have the panel there, but there you had Charles Barkley, and then you had Shaquille O'Neal, pretty hysterical on the whole parody. So without further ado, I will just keep going here. And I'll go ahead and take you into the liner. So a part of this stream, we were talking earlier about Shaquille O'Neal's stance on the actual mocktail mandates. And I think I actually even have a clip for you. You can hear it from him. We're going to hear from Charles himself. So I'm going to take you to that, and then we'll go into the article from The Hill. And if you're out there, I really appreciate it. I thank you so much for tuning in on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And yeah, so I'm going to, we have a clip for you. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I know it is Friday. I'm going to keep this light and I'm going to keep it short. I did say that I would like to reintroduce some lighter-hearted streams, not lighter-hearted streams, but just streams that actually that are a little bit more casual, that you guys can actually kind of chime in on or kind of pivot around whatever's in the cycle at the time, and not be so stuck. And I'll actually give you opportunity to to come on and speak up and speak out as you wish on that. So I just want to kind of open things up a little bit more and make things a little bit more casual for you. So thank you so much for tuning in. So I'm going to try to actually share this clip with you. And it's actually, the clip actually comes from, it's a radio, the Big Podcast is where this comes from. So I think you guys will be able to appreciate hearing from Shaq himself on this, and then we'll go in and see what the Hill's take is on this. Hope you guys are doing well out there. I really appreciate your time on a Friday. I'm almost putting you on Saturday, but we're going to go there. I'm going to be sharing this with you, and please let me know if you have any audio problems, and we're going to get going right now. Let's see, I'm going to give you full screen here. And it is, if you didn't know, this is Black History Month is shaping up. It's shaping up, but I don't know what the picture is. I'm still trying to put the puzzle together. I don't know. Maybe by the end of the month, we can do a collage and see what we came up with. Okay, so here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in.
I encourage everybody to be safe and take care of your family. I do. But there's still some people that don't want to take it, and you shouldn't have to be forced to take something that you don't want. So
I don't think people are being forced to take. Well, there are some. I mean, listen, we have a mandate at CBS.
That's force.
We have a mandate at CBS. But my point.
That's force.
But where I wholeheartedly.
That's force.
No, it's not force.
It is force, because if the man don't take it, the man will get fired.
Sorry, you see what I'm saying? Like, Marcy T, if you're out there, is this what you're a version of a double speak? She's made, oh, there's no force. What force? What force? There's no force. There's force. And he's wearing her down. That's force. That's force. And I was absolutely, that is impeccable. Right? Stay consistent all the way to the end. He said, that's force. That's force. That's force. And he wore her all the way down, but she's still trying to. She lost. She lost because I think he was consistent. I think that's why she lost, because he was not backing down. I applaud him for that, for debunking and putting this crap to bed on spot. Like, don't let him unravel you. Just stay right in the pocket. And he did exactly that. And so eventually, and then he had expounded on it. He said, this is why this is force. Man doesn't take the jab. Man has no job. Coercion. This happens if this doesn't happen. So, I think he blew that person away. And I think they don't expect that kind of, I don't think they expect that kind of consistency or persistence from an athlete. I don't think that they do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play that one more time. For those of you that are just coming in, I really appreciate it. It's Derek C. Williams here. But it's just, they're walking contradictions. Inside of one side of the mouth is saying one thing and the other one is saying, and the act is if you don't know, is if you don't recognize. Hello, Freedom's March. Thank you so much for tuning in. Joseph Francis Burton, thank you so much for tuning in and supporting. So right on, Freedom's March says coercion is a form of force. I'm going to play this one more time. This is from the Big Podcast. And I just think that's fantastic, that Shaq was able to, to stay on point and stay to the end. Give your argument and back it up. I wondered, the next thing would have been, short of humiliation, would have been, do you know what force is, or do you know what coercion is? So we'll go right back there one more time for that, and then I'm going to give you, the editorial version. The editorial version of this. Okay. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
I encourage everybody to be safe and take care of your family. I do. But there's still some people that don't want to take it. And you shouldn't have to be forced to take something that you don't want. So
I don't think people are being forced to take. Well, there are some. Listen, we have a mandate at CBS.
That's force.
We have a mandate at CBS. But my point.
That's force.
But where I wholeheartedly.
That's force.
No, it's not force.
It is force, because if the man don't take it, the man will get fired.
All right. So I'm glad that I had the opportunity to share this, because to read it just from, to read a bunch of editorials and not hear it from this actual clip, it'd be even more of a third-hand account, or, I wouldn't get it. It's the horse's mouth right here. And he did not, this is the thing. He did not, I didn't feel any intimidation from him in this, in that exchange. I didn't feel like he was, oh, well, I better back down, or, if I don't capitulate, I didn't feel that he was losing any ground or losing any strength the entire time. So I really appreciate that. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I did put a link out. I did express, if you guys want to jump on, that's quite all right, but I'm going to put it out here again. And I'm going to the article from The Hill. So you're welcome to jump on at any time. I would like to bring an element of casual back to this channel, because, we can do these things, of course, but it's also nice to just have some casual. You talk about whatever was in the news, whatever comes out in the rents. In the rents is maybe what we can call it, like whatever was in the cycle this week that you want to talk about, you're free to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take you into that article. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. All right. So this particular article is going to come from The Hill, and I've only read just a little bit of an excerpt from this. I haven't read the thing in its entirety. Da-da-da. Who do we have in the house? It's Derek C. Williams. Derek, nice to be joining us.
Shout out respect due to Black Spring with Autumn. Intelligence done right. How you?
Derek, I am hanging around, doing what I can do.
All right. Well, I started a new job, so I'm on a probationary period, but I found a way to get away. So I got 3 minutes, so I'm just gonna say what I say in rapid fire style. I think he did do well, but if you'll notice, all the athletes and entertainers do the same old party line. Do it for friends and family. Why? They don't owe you nothing, and you don't owe them nothing. I wouldn't do it for them. You just do it for yourself and leave it at that. But all the athletes, from LL Cool J, Idris Elba, all these idiots are saying the same damn thing, just silly. But it usually just take one brave soul to leap the floodgates. And just by Shaq saying what he said in this piece, you're gonna start seeing, I predict, you'll start seeing other people jump on. Because if you remember the phrase, in the beginning, the patriot is a scarce man, hated, feared, and scorned. But in time, when his efforts succeed, the timid join him, because then it costs you nothing to be a patriot, And so that's exactly what's going to happen. So that's what I foresee with that. So I'm glad he did do it, and I predict you're going to see more people like that in the coming days, and it's a refreshing thing. But he should also, hopefully, he'll do that on TNT, but he probably won't because Turner paying. So we'll see, because that's another thing too. See, you can talk like that on your own platform, but we'll see if he's going to talk like that when he get back to Atlanta. If he don't do it then, that whole 27-minute clip, 27-second clip, in my opinion, is for naught. So that's pretty much all I want to say. And thank you for having me on your platform. All right, I'm gonna be in listen mode as always. All right. Mute. You muted.
Thank you so much for coming up, and congrats on your new position. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this here. What it is that really quickly, they are begging hospital workers to come, and they giving folks extra money because of people that they put out.
Yeah,
so
well,
I'm taking full advantage of it. But I will say this real quick. Of course, they want to see whether you have your documentation and everything is in order. I got mine, because I'm smart like that. I got my paper, even though I'm never doing that. So I would tell everybody on your channel, get your piece of paper. You need it, all right? Because you can go forward with that thing. But yeah, they begging hospital workers, please. So I got like an extra $7 on top of what they was gonna give me.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. Good
so
for
there you
you.
go.
Well,
So
thank you so much. Right,
Yeah,
Derek.
smart.
Derek. You are always, ahead of the game. You're always there.
Well, ma'am, really quickly, look, like I tell everybody, that's just the honest truth. I barely got out of 12th grade, but I got sense enough to pick up a damn book and read. And books take you places. So that's all I can tell you. So thank you for the compliment. I ain't smart like you or Joseph Francis Burton or none of y'all that went to school. But I got plenty sense enough to pick up a damn book. Can't nobody touch me on that. So thank you for having me. Yeah.
Well, Derek C. Williams, I would say the only difference is I was on the institutional plantation. I knew how much to take from it and what to leave behind. That's probably the only difference. But I applaud you, and without a doubt, respect you and appreciate you on this channel. Anytime, you're welcome.
Yes, ma'am. You take care of yourself, and salute to your chat. All right.
Thanks so much, Derek C. Williams, ladies.
Yes, ma'am. Salute.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Derek C. Williams. Derek C. Williams has been around, and he's very, very wonderful content creator and patron to the channel, and I think just overall, I think he has a gift of words and gift of communication. I say that regularly, so I think he's always walking in his natural authority, and we appreciate that around here. And that segues me back into, I understand, to Derek C. Williams' point that the celebs, they will on this guy's podcast, he has a little bit more liberty, but you're right. Let's see what happens when he's back under once he's back to who he's accountable to, and see what happens, who's signing the checks or whatever. And I mentioned that earlier today. Now I kind of looked at Shaq as someone that's basically retired, but he's still making his money. But I figure, his risk might be a little bit, not as high, but I think if everybody is, staying on the wheel, and they're working as long as they can work. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see how that unfolds. But what I'm also interested in seeing is how long it takes for the blowback to come or to touch him. How much of the blowback will touch him, and will he get back to his regular position and still make that have that same position or that same stance there. So I really appreciate it so much for Derek C. Williams coming on. It's always nice to see you. And thank you guys so much in the chat. So I want to kind of go into shout out to Joseph Francis Burton and hello to people, my friends in the stream. Deborah Catch It by Faith. Thank you so much. And hello to you. He says, outstanding. Thank you for calling in. Yes. Thank you for taking time from your schedule to come in and see us. But yeah, easy. Thank you so much. So what we're going to do is we will go on to, I want to see that article and see what their take is on this, because I will say I have looked into Charles Barkley's position, and to Derek C. Williams' point, he did maintain that that people, these athletes, they say in big crowds of people, oh, do it for this person, do it for your family, do it for your friends, do it for your neighbor. But then where's that same logic doesn't really jive, because we make individual decisions based on our individual health profiles. So it's never a one size fits all. Health, that's not what health is. That's not the way we resolve. That's not the way we resolve health issues. I'm not a doctor, not a virologist, but that's just not, that's not, to me, that's not a real argument. I think it's weak, and some people will buy it and they will just keep flapping around. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share the actual the screen from The Hill so that you can get the take there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. But I think my biggest applaud to Shaquille O'Neal was that, he didn't do like many, he didn't capitulate. And I think even that's rare. That's a rare, he didn't show, well, I better walk this back right now. She's giving me one more chance. Oh, she's giving me 2 chances, 3 chances, 4 chances. Oh, I'm out of chances. Okay, you win. No, he didn't do that. So that's what I was, just that little postage stamp of fortitude was what I was writing. I was writing that all the way. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at this, and just to see what their take is on this. All right, so according to this comes from thehill.com. Shaquille O'Neal says people shouldn't be forced to get the CV-19 mocktail. Okay, so we're going here as Shaquille O'Neal says he's, quote, sympathetic, and quote, towards people who defy mocktail mandates, and that workers shouldn't be, quote, forced, end quote, to choose between their jobs and getting a jab. Quote, I encourage everybody to be safe and take care of your family. I do, end quote. The former Los Angeles Lakers star said Thursday on, quote, the big podcast with Shaq. Quote, but it's just people don't want to take it, and you shouldn't be forced to take something that you don't want, end quote, O'Neal said, referring to the CV-19 mocktails, which protect against being hospitalized or dying from CV. The fact that they're still stringing these words together, it protect, hospitalized, dying. Protect, hospitalized, dying. Okay. I'm just saying, I'm trying to string it together there. But the Basketball Hall of Famer's remarks came up during a discussion with co-host Nichelle Turner and former San Francisco 49ers player Anthony, quote, Spice, and quote, Adams on the recent arrest of 2 Long Island nurses who were accused of making more than $1.5 million off of forged CV-19 mocktail cards. Quote, don't send them to jail, end quote, O'Neal, who last year criticized Brooklyn Nets star Kyrie Irving for voicing hesitancy toward the CV-19 mocktail, exclaimed, quote, I'm going to probably get in trouble for this, end quote. See? You see what I'm talking about? I'm going to get in trouble for this. Who are you accountable to? Who? Is it the liberal zaddy? Who is it? I'll keep going. O'Neal continued, offering a hypothetical situation involving a fictional a fictional co-worker of the quote Entertainment Tonight in quote co-host Turner, quote saying to Shell, your sound guy at ET been working there 10 years. That job is quote all you know, end quote. Quote, let's just say ET puts out a new policy. If you don't get the mocktail, you're going to lose your job, end quote. O'Neill said, suggesting it was unfair for people to choose between their livelihoods and, quote, going against their morals, end quote, by getting mocktailed. Turner countered that she, quote, wholeheartedly disagreed, end quote, with O'Neill. Quote, you're not just affecting yourself, end quote, Turner said. You're putting the public at risk. And it's a public health issue. Tale as old as time, right? More than 850,000 people have died from the CD19 in the US since the beginning. The pandemic, quote, you work for a private company, bro, end quote. Turner continued, quote, we're a capitalist society. It's a free market society. If you don't want to follow that company's policy, then you follow yourself on out the door, end quote. Quote, I'm with you on the rules because I'm a rules guy, end quote, O'Neill agreed. Quote, but I do feel sympathetic towards people who have to make that kind of decision, end quote. Quote, I don't, end quote, Turner said, not when you're putting other people at risk. And here again, I'm throwing some caution to the wind here. So can we say, when people make those kinds of arguments, the fact that people are still doing this whole, at risk and they're not talking about the big T word, and that starts with a T and ends with an N. Explain, expound. Don't just throw things out. Don't just throw generalities out here. Don't just throw general things out there, because that's not science to me. Generalities or even the fear that's not exactly science, right? I am just saying. I mean, if you're so scientific, you can be specific, right? You can be specific with your arguments, but they're not. They won't address what's not happening. They won't, but what is happening contradicts it all the same. So what I want to do is I want to go through and check on some of the comments here. Joseph Francis Burton says, quote, do it for others is the most insidious slogan of this whole pandemic by playing on people's sense of morality. And Joseph Francis Burton says, everybody's catching the CV mask, jabbed, isolated, everybody. The mocktail was never even designed to prevent. See, there's the T word. See, you're on it. And he says that the mandates are anti-science tyranny. Thank you, Joseph Francis Burton, for sharing that with us. And I just want to go back in here. Joseph Francis Burton says, we are not forcing you. This kind of doublespeak is how you lose trust in people. We are not stupid. Right. That's what I'm saying. It's the doublespeak seems to be very 1984. Exactly. He's dealing with doublespeak everywhere. Everywhere. Okay. Risen Abilities here. How are you? Thanks so much for coming back. And thank you guys, all of you, for coming back from earlier, even though I had a little bit of a drop on the power. Drop in the power there. I really appreciate it. So I'm just saying, even when you have the postage stamp of resistance, that's, even that makes people feel a little bit more like they're being heard, like you have somebody out there is, speaking the same language. But at the same time, you're right, to Derek C. Williams' point, you cannot, you say that on your own podcast, but let's see what happens in real time, when you're surrounded by, and see, he's already shown that he's under the influence. When somebody says they can get in trouble for something, then to me, that, you've already shown, you're not at liberty to express your real opinion. that's what that's, to me, that's a loss there. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I'm going to take a quick break and I'll be right back. And I want to thank Derek C. Williams so much again for coming on. I really appreciate it. And for those of you for coming into the stream, I really appreciate it. And I will say this in terms of whether it's, I don't know, I don't call it channelytics, but I don't know, survivalytics. I think that they're actually, some of the things, I think they're slowly picking off channelytics. They're siphoning, for the lack of a better word, they're kind of siphoning off, channelytics and analytics on this channel. And of course, there's the issue with other things. But I appreciate you guys when you come in and tag in with the like button and that you come in and even discuss with us. So I'm going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. And we're going to be wrapping up the Friday Buzz. This show is brought to you in part by our sponsors. Whether you're interested in health, culture, politics, scripture, automobiles, or music, please check out Derek C. Williams, Killer Whale Channels, The Definition of Anarchy, Marcy T., Joseph Francis Burton, Paralysis by Analysis, Chrysler Imperial H, Little Miss Goth, AZ Infidel, Cold War Jesus, Anthony Scioli, and Let the Truth Be Told. We'll be right back right after this. All right. Thank you guys so much. So also another thing that I will be doing, I know that we have been doing we had a Twitch drive going on for probably at least 9 to 12 months now, but I'll probably create some other drives because like I said, I'm not sure how, I'm not sure how fast, or if things will accelerate. And I think there's a chance that things will, because I'm noticing some other activities, around the channel and those kinds of bits. So I will be putting some other things together and keeping you up to date, even on the community tab. And also, if you want to get in the rents, if you want to be in the rents with us, I think maybe we can do that on some days. And those will be more casual streams. And you won't be just limited to, whatever's in the cycle of news. You can get in on whatever. Whatever on something that happened during the week. And so if it's, something with policy or whatever, like those are the only ones, like if you could cite your source on that. It's nice to cite things, but maybe I won't hold you to that. It's just going to be, just kind of want to make things a little bit more casual and see what's going on in your neck of the woods. So it's going to be not even citing it. You don't have to do that on on these casual in the rents kind of streams. So we'll do that. I would like to bring some level of, relax back to the channel. And of course, we'll have more focus streams. And then we'll have some streams that are just kind of like just tagging you in from your neck of the woods and what's in the rents. That's what we'll do. So I thank you guys so much for tuning into this segment. So I want to take this opportunity to say thank you so much, Derek C. Williams, once again for coming in and for chiming in on our Speak Up line, Freedom's March. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. Joseph Francis Burton, I really appreciate you for coming in. And let's see, we have somebody new that was here today. I really appreciate you. It's Deborah Catch It by Faith. Thank you so much, Deborah Catch It by Faith. Look forward to seeing you around. If you're new to the channel, I really appreciate that. And Risen Ability was here. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I guess it counts. It counts when you can be even in the background around here. Because at least you're getting information and you're getting some perspectives. So I thank you guys so much as always for tuning in. Keep an eye on the community tab, and also I'm still working out some things over on Discord. I hope that I'd be a little bit further along with that, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I really appreciate you guys so much. And I guess I will look forward to seeing you guys again. The next live stream in the comments section on a video, which I haven't been doing very many videos. I haven't been doing very many of those, but I look forward to seeing you guys around at Black Spring Mobile, on Discord, alive, whatever we do around here. All right, guys, have a great weekend, and I will see you later.